Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Tell you, drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
There is a strong rumor that Disney CEO Bob Iger is actually considering selling Disney or some of its assets, or maybe all of Disney itself. Okay? This is wild. Absolutely wild. Because just a few years ago, Disney was one of the most profitable, prominent entertainment companies on planet Earth. They owned Marvel. They owned Star Wars. They owned all the Disney properties. So what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The Marvel movies started to tank, right? The Star Wars movies didn't do as good as they wanted, and everyone turned against them. They overproduced Star Wars content, half of which people aren't even watching. Okay? The Disney stuff. They decided to remake every single Disney movie as a live-action movie, changing the whole fucking story around and changing key elements, and it pissed people off. The last 3 to 4 Disney movies that were supposed to be blockbusters were actually considered box office flops. So you can only essentially fail for so long before things start to get shaken up. And it's just crazy that this company that I would say 5 to 10 years ago, we were all talking about, oh my God, Disney owns the world. Disney is buying everything up. And they're assimilating all pop culture. And they're going to be the biggest pop culture company in the world. Who's going to stop them? Well, now we know the answer. Who's going to stop Disney? Disney themselves. They became their own worst enemy because they kept changing everything about the IPs that they were buying up, right? If you take a look at the height of the prominent Marvel movies, right? Like, when were they doing their absolute best? Right in that mid-range, when you had, like, you know, the Iron Man 3, Infinity War, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, you know, those were the times that super prominence of Marvel movies. But what ended up happening was they oversaturated the market with too many periphery characters no one cared about. Like Captain fucking Marvel. Do we really need Captain fucking Marvel? Who the hell cares about that? When you flood the market with too much, then people stop caring. It's like I say on my own streams, right? When you do something every once in a while, it feels special. If we do something all the time, it doesn't feel special anymore. It becomes more commonplace and people don't care about it as much, right? But that's what they didn't seem to understand. They were like, oh, well, simply because of, you know, our Marvel movies are doing good, we have to like exponentially increase the amount of Marvel content we're putting out there. No, you don't. You should actually just, instead of throwing everything at everyone, you should have maybe 5 Marvel movies a year that are absolutely amazing movies, 1 or 2 television series, and that's it. And reserve yourself. And focus elsewhere on other things. So that way when Marvel content comes out, it's special. It's not, oh my God, they hit me with 700 pieces of Marvel content. I mean, my case in point for me, all right, pro wrestling. For the longest time, I was a pro wrestling fan, right? I loved it. And then all of a sudden, WWE Network came out. And now not only was there 2 wrestling shows a week to watch in Raw and SmackDown, but there was also an NXT show, there was reality shows, there was other behind-the-scenes shows. Oh, by the way, if you want to be in on pro wrestling, you got to be watching Impact Wrestling. You got to be watching Ring of Honor, right? Now these days you got AEW and all this. Like, wait a minute. For me to be a wrestling fan, I have to be investing like 70 hours a week to watch pro wrestling. I don't want to do that. You know, that's ridiculous. Oh, well, if you're not doing that, you're not in on all the stuff, you're not a true wrestling fan. Well, then I guess I'm not going to be a wrestling fan anymore. It's too much of an investment. It's supposed to be something that every once in a while you're spending some time, you know, watching or enjoying as entertainment and optional. Now, you have to invest your entire life's existence into it to even understand it, right? So much Marvel content was coming out that there was no way you were ever going to watch it all, and therefore, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane. Why were they putting out so much? And don't even get me started on Star Wars. You know, Star Wars, let's make a new trilogy. Okay, could you please write us a story that has a start, beginning, and end, so that no matter who's working on it, at least we have a story? Oh no, we're just gonna make 3 movies. We don't have a story yet. You think there may be a problem here? You're gambling with billions of dollars, right? No, we don't need that. We're smart, right? We're big brain. We're probably Ivy League educated. We know what we're doing. We'll make Star Wars great again. Oy, oy, oy. These fucking people, man. You know? And so what happens is they make a trilogy of Star Wars movies. No one likes the last movie, but they already made 10 other Star Wars things based around Star Wars that now it's too late to pull the plug on, right? If you think about it, they had made other Solo, that movie tanked because no one fucking cared about Star Wars anymore. And, you know, 2, 3 more movies coming out, no one cares. Oh, how about a fucking series? They got lucky with Mandalorian. They really did. But at the same time, now Mandalorian has gone off the deep end and no one likes it anymore. So you see what I'm saying? Like, Disney basically doesn't understand, whoever's in charge anyway, if it's Bob Iger or whoever the fuck it is, doesn't understand even the premise of popularity and how it works. If you own all these great IPs, great, but stop flooding the market, right? Instead, diversify a little bit. Do some more interesting stuff. It's a little different, but you don't have to always do the same shit. Star Wars doesn't feel special anymore because there's too much Star Wars. Marvel doesn't feel special anymore because there's just too much Marvel. You know? You ruined it for people by putting out too much content. So there you go. And that's what's happened with Disney. So now, after flop after flop after flop for like a series of 4 to 5 years now where this pattern has been happening, the rumor is they might actually have to sell and get out of there, right? It's like, wow. And I don't know what would happen if there was new management that owned it or whatever. Would they do things differently? Maybe. I would certainly hope so. You know, I really don't feel that like Disney's really been doing the right thing for many years now. They've been making mistakes. So maybe it would be better to have someone else take the reins, right?
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.